Good evening, everyone. Again, welcome to Sequoia Commercial Lending Weekly Training. I see so many people join us tonight. If this is your first time here, Sequoia, we are a commercial loan brokers. We fund projects ranging from a few $1,000s working capital all the way up to hundreds of millions of dollars of construction, multifamily, anything in between. So our mission right here is to share this platform to as many people as possible, especially business owners, to let them know that, hey, there are alternative way for you to get your funding other than going to the bank. The reality is that every 10 people go to the bank and 9 out of 10 walk out empty-handed. It's just because many of our business owners are not bankable, meaning that their project might be too risky. Whatever they do, the bank doesn't understand what they're trying to do, or the financial sheet, it does not look good. Their tax return doesn't look good, whatever the reason might be. That does not mean the project is not good. It's just because they just do not fit into the bank's box or the bank's guideline. So what we are here to do is to open up more opportunity for our business people so that they can get the funding they deserve to get into, to finish up their projects. So tonight we are going to talk about equipment loans. Okay, we're going to talk about equipment loans. So let me turn on the presentation right here and to show you what equipment loan it's all about. Okay, I hope that everybody can see my screen right now. We are going to talk about equipment loan for small businesses tonight. Equipment, definitely, it's a huge market. So regardless, what type of business that you're in, oftentimes you will see people that they need to get funding to purchase some sort of equipment. Now, what do I mean by equipment? Okay, we need to understand what is equipment and what is not an equipment. Okay, let's talk about what is not an equipment. All right, somebody's saying that, hey, Alan, my business need to buy a laptop, buy computers. That is not equipment. Somebody saying that, hey, my business needs to buy chairs, need to buy tables. That is not equipment. That is not the type of equipment that we are talking about. The equipment that we are talking about, it's a piece of equipment that's essential for the business to generate income. And without this equipment, this business could generate less income or could be out of business. Give you an example. So let's say if you are in a restaurant business, many restaurants have something called a walk-in freezer. Am I right? Without a walk-in freezer, a lot of these restaurants cannot operate because where are they going to store their food? So that is a piece of equipment. Let's talk about a doctor's office. A doctor needs a X-ray machine. Without that machine, he cannot operate. He cannot function. He cannot do his business. That is a piece of equipment. A pizza place, it needs an oven in order for him to cook a piece of pizza. Without that oven, he cannot be in business. So that is equipment. That is essential to that business. Or you have somebody saying that, okay, fine, I am, I need a credit card machine. Is that equipment? Yes. Without that, your business might not function as easy as efficient as supposed to be. Okay. Now I know a lot of you are here for EV charging stations. Now, is an EV charging station an equipment to a business? Absolutely. Because let's say I have a restaurant and I have a parking lot and somebody drive a Tesla right now. And if I don't have a EV charging station, he might not come to my restaurant because he cannot charge, right? So again, those are all different type of equipments that we can fund. So you can open up your mind and you can imagine so many different type of equipments that we can even fund. So that is what we are talking about tonight, equipment funding for small businesses. Now, that's the first thing that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk equipment loans. The second thing that we are going to talk about is called heavy equipment. You have equipment and you have heavy equipment. So I'm going to leave it later on to show you what actually is in heavy equipment. Okay. And next, we are going to talk about truck funding. Many of our businesses are buying trucks. Now, when I say truck, I'm not talking about a truck that you drive, like a regular truck that you can get it from a dealer. I'm talking about truck, 18-wheelers. I'm talking about dump trucks. I talk about box trucks, things like this. So those are the trucking funding that we can talk about tonight. And if we have time, I'm going to give you a bonus. And I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to let you know what that is, but I'm going to leave it to the end. If we have time, we're going to talk about that particular funding also. Okay. So let's get started. Let's talk about equipment funding. As I mentioned to you, equipment, it's every business have equipment you can imagine. Okay. If you have any doubt, if this equipment, is this considered to be equipment or not, there are a few rule of thumbs that you can play around with. Number one, this type of equipment is not easy for you to take home. Think about this. It's not easy for you to take home. For example, a walk-in freezer. There's no way for you to take home, right? So you cannot take home? Yes, there's a piece of equipment. A credit card machine is not easy for you to take home because there's a lot of wire, things like that, they're hooked up to your internet and things like that. You don't take that home every day, no. So that is a piece of equipment, right? So you got the idea. Now, for something that is easy to take home, it has to be professionally equipment. What am I talking about? We're talking about, let's say, a studio. They are purchasing tens of thousands of dollars worth of a camera, a video filming set, things like this. Now, that is also equipment, even though you can carry around, but it is not like a $199 equipment. It's I mean, a camera easily could be thousands of dollars. Okay, so yes, that could be equipment too. So that is what we are talking about, equipment. Now, imagine a lot of you might ask, I mean, where do I find people like this? They are all over the place. And quite frankly, a lot of them, they need equipments all of a sudden. For example, last year, around July or August, we had a restaurant call us up that their refrigerator in California, their refrigerator all of a sudden broke down. Now, without a refrigerator in August, you're talking about 80, 90 degree heat inside of that restaurant. Nobody's going to come. So they need funding immediately. Okay, there are a lot of equipment breaks down like this. They need funding immediately. Came to us, we evaluated, no problem. The business is in operation, and they are, they're making pretty good income. Okay, fine. We funded about $60,000 for them to replace that equipment. Okay, so again, things like this it's happening all day long. And another example, auto shop. Okay, auto shop, they need to buy a jack. That is equipment. Right? So they are all over the place. As long as you start telling people what you can do and what type of funding that you can get access to, you will be amazed how many people need our service. Okay. So now when we talk about equipment funding, what do we need? Now, remember one thing, when somebody comes to you to buy a piece of equipment, most likely they need this piece of equipment very, very urgently. For example, I mentioned it to you, that restaurant, the air conditioning unit just broke down. He's not going to wait 30 days. He cannot afford to wait 30 days to get that a refrigerator fixed. Again, same thing, for all other businesses as well. So many times the equipment, what they need, it's very, very urgently. They need it urgently. So this type of loan, we can fund very, very quickly. Now, if you're thinking about you want to make quick money, you want to get a paycheck in about 10 days, you want to get a paycheck in about 15 days, equipment is the business that you want to get in. Equipment is the funding that you want to get in. So let's talk about what we are looking for. First of all, they are looking for a business, at least in business for 2 years. Now, if the business is not in 2 years, can we still do it? Absolutely. But I'm going to give you some filter. When you go out there to talk to your client, or when your client talk to you saying, hey, I need this, I need that, you can start to filtering them out. So if a business is in operation for 2 years, check. A lot of lender love business in operation for at least 2 years, especially right now after COVID. Why? It's just because for a business to stay in business for 2 years, most likely they already gone through a lot of humps, a lot of ups and downs and things like this. So they might not make money, but hopefully they are in the process of start to make money in the future. So they stabilize, their business is already stabilized. So lender would like to fund this type of business. So the first thing that you ask your client is that, how long have you in business? Now, let's say even though the business is not in 2 years, let's say I just started a business, can you still get equipment? Absolutely, you can still get equipment. But the maximum that we can get to you is $50,000, which I'm going to talk about it later. So just remember, $50,000 maximum for new businesses. Okay. So next thing that is that we talked about what equipment is. I'm not going to repeat that. Now, loan amount, the minimum loan size is $5,000. So anything less than $5,000, probably they can just go to a bank and get a credit card to purchase it. But anyway, from $5,000 to $500,000, that is what the range would be. Now, once you get outside of the $500,000 range, now you're talking about some heavy duty, big, huge equipment that they're very, very specialized equipment. Okay. So again, can we do that? Yes, absolutely, we can do that. But I would think the majority of us in this room, most likely you will run into equipment that is approximately $5,000 to $500,000, somewhere around that range. Okay. Now, I mentioned that this type of loan, it's a very, very easy loan to apply. If the equipment is less than $100,000, and I let you know, a lot of them are less than $100,000. What we normally see is somewhere between $20,000 to $50,000. That is the range that we see all the time. Okay. But yes, we do have some equipments that can go all the way up to $100,000. It doesn't matter. As long as the equipment is below $100,000, many of our lenders don't even look at their financials. Do not look at tax return. Do not look at bank statements. Do not look at profit and loss statements. No, nothing. What do they check? They check the company first. So what do you need to do is the first thing is to fill out an application, a very easy one-page application. We are going to email that application to you. Okay. I'm going to show you what the process would be later on, but right now just stick with me. So all you needed to do is just to fill out one application, and that's it. Can you imagine that? Now, once they submitted an application, what happened? Obviously, the lender is going to do their own due diligence. They will check the business. When you fill out the application, one item that they ask for is the EIN number. Okay. So once they have the EIN number, and they can pull out a lot of information about that particular business. So that is very important. The second thing that they ask you for is your social security number, or the client's social security number. They do need to pull their credit, but look at this. What is the credit score to qualify? 550. 550. So again, basically means that everybody can qualify for it. Now, we do not encourage clients saying that, hey, you got 550, we can get you a loan. With 550, can you get a loan? Yes. But the dollar amount that you can qualify for will be a lot less than somebody who has an 800 credit score, which I'm going to show you what the guideline looks like later on. But just remember, hey, we all need to start from somewhere. They have 550 credit score. There got to be reason for it. So the lender will check the credit and will look at their credit report. Now, as long as they don't have any late loan payment. Now, many of them, they might file bankruptcy before. They might, a business failure. or they might max out their credit card. They forgot about their car payments or whatsoever, but they always make it up. Okay, those are okay, no problem. We can still fund you. We cannot give you. We might not give you the money that you asked for. So, for example, somebody come to us saying that, hey, I need $100,000, but we look at this. Hey, you can only qualify for 5,000, 7,000, whatever that might be because of your credit score. But at least when you start getting money, getting a loan like this, and you use it, you pay it back, you use it, you pay it back. Now you establish a relationship with the lender, you can get more and more and more and more money in the future. And that is also very important also. A lot of the small businesses out there today still using their own capital to fund their business. And I'm sure there's a lot of businesses out there. When they need money, they will say, oh, I got $20,000. Let me use my money to do it. No, even though when you are able to purchase anything with your own cash, still do not use your own money. Especially you are a business person, you have to think differently. Why? Cash is king. You heard the term, right? Cash is king. And that is especially true here in commercial lending and here in business. So when you have cash as a business owner, there's a lot of things for that you can do. You have peace of mind. You don't panic when things happen. You know that you have that money ready for you. So again, if you can use other people's money, use other people's money. And also a lot of people saying that, hey, I am doing good, I don't need money. Wrong. When you are doing good, that is the time that you need to stop borrowing money. Why? That is establishing your credibility. Now, how many of us have credit score personally? We all have credit score. Am I right? How do you get better and better credit score? How do you get more and more credit from different banks? It's because when you use a credit card, when you use it, you pay it back, use it, pay it back, and now all of a sudden, and another bank is going to call you up saying, hey, Mr. Wu, would you like to have our credit card? Hey, Mr. Lee, would you like to have our credit card? They will give you more and more credit. But nobody's going to come to you saying that, hey, let me give you $50,000, $100,000 if you do not establish that relationship or that credit with the bank. So I would encourage you when you go out there to talk to your client, let them know, Mr. Client, Mr. Business Owner, you are doing good right now. This is the perfect time for you to lend money, for you to borrow money. And especially when they're doing good, all kind of lender will give them money. They might not need all the money in the world. Start out with something small. Start out with 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. It's because when you really need money, when emergency came, when you really need money, now the lender knows who you are and they can give you money much, much, much faster. So again, even though your credit score is not as good as it sounds, still go out there, especially in business. We would love to lend you money. Okay. So all you have to do is just fill out an application. We check your business credit. We check your personal credit. And that's all we need from that business owner. Now, the last very important piece of information is the quote or invoice of that particular piece of equipment from a dealer. So many of you are selling EV charging stations. I already see a lot of you already submitting loans to us, asking for equipment loans to get funding. The next thing, the most important thing is for you to go back and ask for an invoice. Now, the invoice has to be from the vendor. You're buying a piece of, you're buying that walk-in freezer. It has to come from a dealer. Now, if somebody's saying, hey, I'm going to buy it from my friend who happens just to be shut down their business and he has a walk-in freezer, can I buy it? No. If you buy it, if this is a private sale, no one will give you equipment loan because there's no warranty to it. Okay. So again, very, very important. We need to get an invoice. Now, an invoice, we all know what an invoice is. So just imagine today you go out there to purchase any kind of, you buy a computer, you're buying a laptop. What do you see? They give you the make and model. They give you the price. They give you all the spec, what type of CPU it has, what type of, what is the RAM, what is the graphic card, so on and so forth. They listed everything for you. Am I correct saying that? Same thing. If you're buying equipment, we want to see the same similar invoice that has make and model And again, what is the spec of that particular piece of equipment? Submit it in. That it's all the information that you need. That's it. And once we submit it in, and normally in about 48 hours, no more than 48 hours, you will receive an email from us saying that, hey, we can fund this, we cannot fund this, well, we need more information, so on and so forth. Very fast. This type of things very fast. And sometimes we just, sometimes within an hour, you will receive something back from us that, hey, we tell you what to do. Okay. So that is all we need. That is for equipment that is below $100,000, below $100,000. Now, if you're talking about equipment that is above $100,000, so again, let's say back to the EV charging station. Let's say you sell it to, a retail, a shopping mall. They buy 10 units. I think that's $100,000 right there. You are purchasing, some heavy duty equipment. Again, $100,000 is medical equipment, especially medical equipment. I mean, easily for you to get up hundreds of thousands of dollars. So in that case, then we need to see the business's financials. So most likely we will asking for 2 years of tax returns. We will need to see bank statements, 6 months of bank statements, so on and so forth. So at that time, we will tell you a list of documentations that we need. Okay, that it's equipment. It's just very simple. Nothing crazy about this. No magic behind this. No rocket scientist. One piece of application, invoice, minimum, there's 2 things. And in most cases, we can fund this business just based on these 2 pieces of information. All right. Now, I keep talking about restaurant. If you are a restaurant, we do need to ask for more information. Again, this is because of due to COVID. So now, obviously, the country opened it up. You see, people going out to eat all the time now. However, from the lender's perspective, they will still would like to see what's going on with this company right here, with this restaurant. Do they have stabilized income? So that's why they want to look at last 6 months of their bank statements. Okay. Let's say if they want to see a trend. If the monthly deposit is pretty much stabilized, no problem. Every single month you deposit $20,000, $30,000, that's fine. What they don't like to see, what they would have question on, is that one month you have $50,000, and then the next month you have $2,000, and then the third month you have $10,000, but the next month you have $2,000. All this, vibration right here, they don't feel comfortable if they see something like this. So it's very important for you to, when you receive that 6 months of bank statement, take a look at it, okay, to see what it is. Now, learn how to read all these bank statements, right? Don't just throw it to us. Look at it. Look at the most important thing for you to look at: 2 numbers. Number 1, what is their deposit? Okay, what is their deposit? Number 2, what is their balance at the end of the month? So let's say if their deposit, it's average $50,000 a month, but their balance every single month at the end of the month is negative $2,000. This business is barely surviving. To a lot of the lender, it raised a red flag. You make $50,000 and you do not have anything saved up at the end of the left at the end of the month. How are you going to pay me when I lend money to you? When I lend money for your equipment, you might not even be able to afford it. Am I correct saying that? So again, those are the 2 numbers that we need to pay attention to. Okay. But again, no big deal. Now, restaurant, currently, I see a lot of equipment in restaurant service robot. Anybody know what that is? A service robot? Sometimes you go into a restaurant, you see a robot is carrying food around the restaurant. So again, we see a lot of those. It's actually pretty interesting because many restaurants right now, believe me or not, they're having a hard time to look for waiter and waitress. Their lack of manpower, and that's why they're purchasing this type of machines that to deliver food. And I think it's a perfect idea. Okay, so we fund a lot of this equipment. So that is restaurant. And For restaurant, ideally, they want to see, $20,000. Now, right now, start to change. The $20,000 is actually last year because we were still in COVID, still all over the place, but now it's slowly opening up a lot. So a lot of the lenders start to reduce that number. So if you were just doing 10,000, they still do it. They don't want to see anything that is below 10,000. It's pretty dangerous if you below 10,000. So again, when you go out there to talk to a client, if a restaurant, I'm talking about a restaurant, I'm not talking about any other things, right? So restaurant, if they, if they don't average $20,000 a month, might be a little bit difficult to get a loan. Okay, so again, that is for restaurant. Now, what other type of commercial we can do? This is just a list of all the businesses that you can tap into. Okay, if you look at this: daycare, automotive repairs, service, bakery, barber shop, bed and breakfast, bicycle shop, you name it. This is in our Facebook. If you are connected to our Facebook, this is in our Facebook. You go to file, you go to it's under file, and you can find all this information. If you're not connected to us on Facebook, please become a member of us, join our group, and you can get access to all this information, including the training tonight. So every training that we do, we will record it and we'll post it on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Okay. So just to let you know, there's so many industries that you can tap into. A lot of people saying that, hey, I don't know anyone, but you don't know is because you never really pay attention to it. You never really thought about you can do something like this. It's just like if you don't drive a Tesla, you never see a Tesla on the road. But once you start driving a Tesla, once you're driving a Camry, once you're driving a Honda, whatever that might be, you will see all of a sudden everybody's driving the same car as you. Am I correct saying that? Absolutely. Same thing with commercial lending. Before, you might not know what we're doing right here. Commercial lending, for the longest time, it's a very closed door industry. I said it over and over and over again. Why? Just the nature. It's just the nature of this. You go to any advertisement platform. Do you see anybody out there that advertising saying that, hey, I have funding for you to purchase equipment. I have funding for you to develop a land. I have funding for you to build a house. I have funding for you to build a hotel. Do you see anybody like that doing advertisement out there? No, you don't. It's just because this industry is very, very closed door. And that is why we are saying what we're talking about right here is to disrupt this industry, open it up, have many people come in here as possible. And I bet every single one of you in this room tonight already knows somebody that is in this business. But you just, before tonight, you probably have no idea what they need. Probably you have no idea where can I get funding for something like this. And now you do. It's through the Sequoia lending platform. You can get access to over 500 different funding sources, regardless what the project is. As long as the project makes sense, you have the power to get access to those funding, whether it's a $5,000 loan or a $500 million loan. It does not matter. Everything in between you can get access to. You're already sitting in a gold mine by connecting to Sequoia lending. You're already on top of the world. You have access to capital that 99% of the people out there have no idea what you have in hand. And we can do this thing all across country. So this is just some of the industry that you can take yourself into. Okay, so start to make a list. How many mechanic shops do you know? How many spa do you know? How many restaurants do you know? Make a list. Start talking to these people. But I suggest you do not just pick up the phone and start cold call. It doesn't work that way. In commercial lending, it's a relationship business. Just like anything out there, it's a relationship business. That's especially true in commercial lending. So I would suggest you to start out with your warm market, with the people that are around you. See, a lot of people got very excited when they come into commercial lending. They say, "Oh, wow, I can do this. I can do this. Oh, let me call this. Let me call that." No, calm down. Hold your horses. Okay, make a list of all the business that you know, the business owner that you know. Give them a call. Let them know that, hey, John, Now I got into commercial lending. If you need funding, I'm the person to go to. Mary, I'm the funding guy right now. I'm your money guy. Whatever business that you need for your daycare, I'm the person to go to. So at least start planting seeds first. Once you start planting seeds, you will be surprised how many people is going to be knocked on your door. And if you are connected to our Facebook page, you see we post a lot of success deals, the deals that we close. Utilize those posting, repost it to your own social media group, and you'll be amazed. People calling you that, what, John, you can really do this? Oh, you can get something like this? You can get funding like this? You'll be amazed. If you don't believe me, try it. Okay. So now let me show you something that is very technical. That is behind the scene. Okay. That is the guideline that we follow. So a lot of people saying that why am I not able to get a loan? Why am I not able to get, why am I not, I mean, you only give me $10,000. Obviously it's not going to be enough. See, many people have the wrong impression. They mixed up their wants than the reality. I want this. I want this. I want to attend. I want $100,000 loan. I want a $200,000 loan. I want this. But what is the reality? Okay. So this is the reality. The lender is not going to just hand you a $200,000 check. The lender need to understand who you are. What is your business? And this is their guideline. This is just one of the lender's guidelines. So look at this. If you're talking about, hey, you want $150,000 loan, all the way at the top right here, you better be a AAA credit profile. You need to be in business for 10 years. If you only been in business for 1 year, you're not going to get $100,000, period. Okay. You better have credit score 700 and above, right? You don't have any more missed payment whatsoever. You need to be in a AAA credit. Now, versus, I mentioned that somebody have a 550 credit score. Look at all the way at the bottom, 550 credit score. Can you still get a loan? Absolutely, you can still get a loan. But look at what is the maximum loan amount that you can get, $5,000, right? $5,000. So anything in between. Now, I don't want you to say that, hey, Alan, send me this thing. I want to study this. I don't want you to study. But what I want to share with you is that, hey, whatever the client wants, it's different than what the reality is. So this is what we are going through. And that is why we ask you to fill out that scenario form, which I'm going to show you what that is. So once it comes back to us and we plug into our portal, and then we can tell you exactly what this client can qualify for. And oftentimes we have client agent come to us saying that, hey, Alan, how come that guy can offer me this much and you offer me much higher? Because the profile is different. Understand? The time in business is different. The credit profile is different. So again, I don't want to get into detail of this. I just want to share with you, what are we looking at? We will do the best we can to get a loan for everyone out there. But however, please prep your client. Be realistic. You have 550 credit score. Don't expect to get $100,000, no matter how long you're in business. So fix that credit, which we do have that service, which we are going to talk about how to fix your credit and how to improve your business credit. I believe sometimes in March, we invited one of our professional to come up here to talk to us about that. Okay, so let's move on. So that is equipment loan. Very simple. All right. Now, the next thing that we want to talk about is heavy equipment. Just by looking at the pictures, you got an idea. This is heavy equipment. Bulldozers, trailers, trucks, things like this. Heavy machinery. This is heavy equipment. A lot of manufacturer company, they need something like this. Construction company like this, farmers like this. Can you believe it? Now you have the access to the funding for people that needs this type of equipment. Okay, the loan amount for something like this is between $20,000 to $250,000. And same thing, if the loan amount is below $75,000, most likely we don't care about much stuff. We just need to see an application in a quote. So for something like this, we don't even care about credit. Can you believe that? We don't even care about credit. Why? Because that piece of machine is the collateral. Okay, that piece of machine is the collateral. So for something like this, same thing, we do need to see an invoice from your client. From your client, which is from the dealer. And again, no private sale, please. All right. The process is pretty much the same thing. You submit the applications to us. You let us know what the truck looks like, and we will send you a quote within 24 hours. Either you can do it, you cannot do it. We will let you know what's going on. So now for heavy equipment, yes, it's okay for you to have a startup company. So for example, let's say you just start up a construction company, you just start up a landscaping company that you need some sort of heavy equipment like this. Yeah, that's fine. We can definitely fund you based on the type of equipment that you're purchasing as well. So this is heavy equipment, nothing major, nothing fancy about this. But just remember, now you have the access to funding to fund this type of loans. Next thing that we're going to talk about is commercial truck. Okay, commercial truck. So as you can see, truck, it's box truck, dump truck, tow truck, class 6, class A, 18-wheelers, you name it. So you got the idea. This type of truck, again, is not the truck that you drive to work and drive back home, right? Like a Honda Ridgeline, you know, a Ram, you know, not that type of truck. We are talking about commercial truck. You need a commercial license to drive something like this, okay? So same thing for something like this. We do need to see a spec sheet. Now, many of our clients are not purchasing brand new truck. Brand new truck are very, very expensive. Okay, unless you are, you know, major transportation company that buy new trucks. Most of our clients, I would say 99% of our clients are purchasing used trucks. Okay, so when they buy used trucks, we do need to see what is the engine size. We do need to see make and models. We do need to see the year made of that truck. So anything that is older than 15 years old, most likely you cannot get funding for it. Okay, anything that older than 15 years. So I would put a mark on 10 years. Okay, I would put a mark on 10 years. Because once you older than 10 years mark, now is case by case basis. They look at what is the mileage, what is the engine size, you know, I mean, things like this. Now they will look at something like this. But within 10 years, you'll be fine. Okay, so this could be an owner or business operate. Meaning that let's say I'm a grocery store. I own a grocery store. I need to buy a box truck, or I need to buy a 18-wheeler for me to transfer food around the country. But I'm not the driver. I'm just the owner. That's fine, no problem. Okay. Or in another case is that, hey, I used to work for someone else. I used to drive truck. I used to lease a truck to drive, and now I want to become my own boss. I'm going to come out here to purchase a truck myself. Yes, absolutely. So new commercial driver license, it's okay. Okay, new commercial. So let's say I just got the license today, and I want to get a truck. Yes, absolutely, you can do that. But again, that will be, you know, depending on your credit profile, etc., you might not get as much as if you were already been in business for a long time. Okay, so loan amount for something like this, well, $100,000 to $55,000, that is last year, but now it's increased to much bigger. I believe right now the loan amount is all the way up to $100,000. So I didn't change that number. So from $10,000 to $100,000, anything in between. Okay, and again, we don't care about credit score. So that is commercial trucks. So now what is the rate and term, and what do we need to do? So first of all, ladies and gentlemen, you need to fill out a scenario form. Okay. Now, if you don't know where the scenario form is, let me show you. If you are a Sequoia agent, you sign up with us, you are a member of us, you should have your own website. Okay. So let me show you. So this is my own website, alanwu.setlending.com, and you have yours. You look exactly like the same. So anytime this website right here is yours, it's unique. That is what you paid the $30 for. We have that website built for you, okay? Market this site as much as you can. So now when they go into the product page, let me show you. You go into the product page and scroll down here, you will see all type of funding that we do. So if you're talking about equipment loan, so go ahead and click on equipment funding right here. And it gives you a little description about what equipment is all about, what we can do, things like this. Now, then you do the apply, okay? After you do the apply, all you have to do just to fill out some basic information right here, and we will send you a quote. Just that simple. If you are talking about truck, and look at this, we have a truck and heavy equipment right here. Same thing. All you have to do just to click apply and fill out the basic information for us, or you can download the truck application or heavy equipment application. You download it, you fill it out, and send it to us along with your invoice. Just that simple. So again, utilize this a product page as much as you can. Now, I know many of you are new to us. I would suggest you to go through every single one of this scenario form. And this is your best friend. So when you go out there to talk to your client, you don't even, if you don't want to talk to them, if you don't want to fill out the form for them, no problem. All you have to do, let's say if you want to do equipment loan, all you have to do just to click on reply right here and copy the link right here and send it to them. Okay, so that's simple. So that's the first thing that you need to do, is to fill out that scenario form. And once we filled it out, and again, we need to know the detail of the equipment, which means that you need to send us the invoice and things like this. So other than that, we will provide you rate and term, and the rate and term normally looks like, you know, they will give you a term like, okay, for 20, you have different options. If you want to pay off the equipment in 24 months, 48 months, 60 months, whatever that might be. So you choose, as a client, you choose whatever you want to do. So imagine this type of loan is like a car payment, a car loan. So normally a car loan tells you that, hey, you know, you have, 60 months to pay off, 36 months to pay off, things like that. So once they pay off, now that equipment belongs to them. So all the equipment loan is something called lease to own. Lease to own. So while they are paying for the equipment, they do not own the equipment. Now, who owns the equipment? The lender owns the equipment. Okay. So now once they pay it off, now the lender will give you a title to the equipment, just like a car. Okay. So now the interest rate, depending on what we're talking about, it ranging somewhere between 4.5% to 30%. Now, again, if you're, if you have a credit score that is very, very bad, things like this, yeah, absolutely, it can go all the way up there. But normally what I'm seeing right now is somewhere around, 8%, 9% range, because the rate has already gone up so much. In medical equipment, it could be a lot less, somewhere around, I would say somewhere around 6%, somewhere around there. Okay, 24 to 48 hour approval, 5 to 7 days funding. So that is very, very quick. So once we send out a proposal to the client, they like it, sign the dotted line, send it back to the client, send it back to the lenders. Then that's it. The lender is going to do their underwriting. Normally it takes about, a day or two to get the underwriting done and get the funding ready, and boom, now they send the money to the client. So for equipment loan, the way it works is that the lender would not send the money to the client. They send the money to the vendor. So let's say they purchased the EV charging station. They will send the money to the vendor. The vendor then send out the installation team, send out the equipment to the homeowner or to the business owner to install that piece of equipment. And then after that, the business owner will pay them on an installment. Okay, so they will never receive funding from the lender if they are purchasing equipment. So a lot of people asking me is that, hey, Alan, can I I need $50,000 for my business. Can I get an equipment loan and use the money to do something else? No, you cannot do it. Equipment is equipment. They have to give you the money. They have to give you the loan based on the equipment, and they will send the money to the vendor. Okay. If they need working capital, let's say they need $50,000 to do other things, to purchase inventory, to buy computers, etc., etc. Now that is working capital. That is a totally different subject, and we will be talking about that later on. Okay, 5 to 7 day funding, very, very quickly. And normally term for something like this is 24 to 60 months. All right. That is equipment, heavy equipment, and truck. So we have about 10 more minutes to go. So do you want me to give you the bonus, or you want to ask questions? What would you like to do?
Hey, let's go bonus.
Go bonus. Okay, there you go.
Bonus.
Okay.
Bonus.
You want everything, right? Okay.
I got a question.
Bonus. Okay, let me give you the bonus.
Yeah, give us both.
The bonus is crypto mining equipment funding. Crypto mining equipment funding. Now, I don't know why it's still out there, but this type of funding is still out there. A lot of people are doing Bitcoins, mining all kind of virtual currency. They need money. They need machines to do something like this. Can you do that? Absolutely. We do have lenders that can give you funding to purchase machine. Now, the lenders is not going to, this is heavy operation. Okay. The lender is not going to just give you money to buy one machine. They will give you money to buy a whole lot of machines. So that is depending on the type of business. So we have quite a bit of clients that it's in the crypto business, that they are doing this thing as a business, where they purchase a warehouse or they lease a warehouse that they install a lot of their machine into it. They need to upgrade their machines. They need to purchase more machines, so on and so forth. So for something like this, you need to have 2 years of business for that, a 2-year of history for that business. So this type of business is very, very high risk. I'm sure that a lot of you already know. So minimum, they need to see you in 2 years. They want to know what type of mining computer that you're buying. They need to see the spec, just like everything else. Okay. They don't want you to go out there and buy something yourself and put it together. They want the machines to be professionally built. They want to see the spec, the quote, things like this. Okay. Now the loan amount for something like this is between minimum $1 million, 1 million and up, between $1 to $5 million. So they do need to see, for something like this, they do need to see your profit and loss statement. They do need to see your tax return. They do need to see your pro forma. Okay. Now, and last but not least, they want to see your personal financial statement. They want to see what kind of net worth you have in order for you to get this type of funding. Now, since this is a bonus, I don't want to get into it. I don't know how many people out there are actually in the mining crypto business, that you actually have a business like this, or I don't know how many of you know somebody that has this kind of business. Last year, we have a lot of people in Texas. And I just realized that in Texas, they have a very, very good policy to attract crypto miners to go to Texas. So we have a lot of clients that purchasing warehouses in Texas and to build crypto mining facilities to, that is their business. So again, just keep in mind, this is something that you have in your arsenal that you can get access to. Okay, so that is all I have to say with this crypto mining thing. So who is our clients? Definitely rejected by the bank. If they can go to a bank, get a loan, they don't need to come to us. But the reality is that, I said it already, 90% of the time, they cannot get a loan from the bank. Come to us. It's a new company. Obviously, the bank is not going to fund you. But if you're a new company, you want to buy a piece of truck, but buy some equipment, yes, absolutely. We can definitely do it right here. And of course, they have no more option to go. They can only go to you. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for tonight on equipment. And hopefully you understand it's not a rocket scientist. It's not difficult to do. Go out there, EV charging station. I know a lot of you coming online to learn about this. Again, no difference than any other equipment. So again, if you already sold some of those things, feel free to submit a scenario to us. We reviewed it. We'll give you a proposal very, very quickly. So again, make sure that you get the invoice from the vendor and submit along with the application to us.
Can I say something before we leave?
Well, we're not leaving, Joe, Gerald. Well, so I'm done. So again, Superman, time is yours. You have any questions?
Yeah, it's not a question. Is I want to share with you how the procedure works in terms of how to get the invoice for the EV charging stations. We're working on the website, one-page website, so that you can gather information from your client. What's going to happen is we're going to submit that to URIC. URIC is then going to send somebody out there, physically out there, to check out the location and determine what EV station is good for them. And that's how you're going to get the invoice. We take the invoice and we put that application with Secura, and then that's when we submit it to the funding agency, and that's how the process will start. So again, you need an invoice to qualify for any kind of equipment, and the only way to get the invoice is to have URIC send somebody to the location to get the documentation to submit for the loan.
Absolutely. So again, that it's on that particular equipment, right? But for other equipments, it should be pretty simple. Okay. Now just remember, guys, this is just one type of funding that now you got access to. Go to our website, take a look at our website. There's a lot more things that you can do. So do not limit yourself saying that, hey, I just do equipment loans. Yes, this is a very fast funding. You can get your paycheck very, very quickly. But at the same time, there's a lot more other things that you can do. And once you open up yourself, when you start to talking to your community, once you let people know that you can get access to commercial lending, funding right here, you will get all type of loans. So become the go-to person in your community. Become the go-to person in commercial lending in your network. Try this out. I'm going to give you, we still have a few more minutes. Try this out. Many of you saying that, where do I find this client? Where do I get our name out there? Join a lot of network out there. There's a network out there. I'm sure that you already heard of it. It's called BNI. Mm-hmm. Is it BNI or BNL? BNI, right?
Oh, BNI.
Go to BNI. Every single BNI has the following person. It has a real estate agent, has a loan officer, has an insurance agent, has a lawyer, has a CPA, has a contractor, has a HVAC person, has some sort of business owner. But I've never seen any BNI group that has a commercial loan broker in it. And if you are that person, you have no idea how much business that you can get. And that is how I started out my business. I joined all these network, all the chapters. And now all of a sudden they realize that, wow, Alan Wu, you are the one that can fund my project. They will come to you in groups. So again, make sure that you go out there, start talking to people that you have funding for commercial projects, regardless it's equipment or purchasing a warehouse, purchasing a 1 to 4 unit single family home as an investment property, or doing a mixed use, you name it. Anything that involves with business, that is what you can do right now, ladies and gentlemen. So I see another hand raised up. Enrique, please.
Yeah, Alan, as you know, I'm a solar seller with Power Solar. On March 8th, I'm doing a demonstration with them on the benefits of pairing their electric vehicle with a home solar system. Now, I thought, what if I invited you to do a 5-minute presentation on the electric charging stations as well on a Zoom call?
Absolutely.
We might get some clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about this. And when you talk about solar, that's another huge market. So again, as you already know, there's a lot of people installing solar for residential property already. But guess what? There's a lot of commercial property are also looking into install solar as well. We can definitely fund that type of project. So again, go out there, market yourself. If you have any questions or whatsoever, let me know. If you want to find out, hey, if this scenario works or not, let me know. or send us an email. Now, the way that for you to contact us, we have a support email right now. Just send to support@seclending.com. I'm going to type it right here. We just activated our support. Okay, it's support@seclending.com. Okay, so send an email to seclending.com and we will get it. Or, and another way for you to do it is that if you have your own website right here, go to contact us. You see, contact us today. Okay, if you don't want to send us email whatsoever, contact us. You go to this page and fill out whatever information that you need and let us know what you want, and we will get back to you. Okay.
Last thing I'd like to say is I work in commercial real estate with apartment building owners. So I'd love to get information on the commercial solar because I think I have clients for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any other questions? Okay.
It's a quick question. This is Edgar here.
Hey, Edgar.
Is the ERTC program still available?
Yes, ERTC still available. ERTC stands for Employee Retention Tax Credit. Now, for those of you out there have no idea what ERTC is for, this is a government program giving money back to businesses who are affected by COVID as long as they have W-2 employees, and they can get up to $26,000 per employee. It's free money. Okay, so if you know businesses out there that got affected by COVID, pretty much 100% of them out there are like that, and they have employees, it's free money for them. So submit it in and we will evaluate it and we can tell them exactly how much money they can get back. Okay, so yes, ERTC still available, and ERTC will end in September of 2024. So we still have a year and a half to go.
One more question in reference to advertise some of these products. Do we generate the flyers to advertise a certain special products that we focus on, or do you provide the flyers for that? Because
If
when
you are,
the ERTC flyer that you provided is awesome. I go out and and talk to businesses and just pass them out with my information in it. So I just started doing that. So I don't know if you have any more of that. Are you planning to do anything in the future, or are we in charge of developing that?
you let us know what you want, right? So we post all of our flyers in Facebook under file. So you go into file, you see, you can use whatever you want. Now, if you want to, you want to request to have a special flyer, things like this, let us know. Okay, we have a marketing team here that can help us to design all kinds of flyers. So just let us know what you want, and we design it for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Don't be shy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Who is this?
Yeah, my name is Joe from South Jersey, New Jersey.
Hey, Joe. How you doing, sir?
Great. I'm also a solar agent for power. And I just want to make a statement about the ERTC. Ladies and gentlemen, it is true. I'm a 30-year car veteran, car sales veteran and management of dealerships, and I attacked them first. And I have a client right now getting back $750,000.
That's right.
And the commission is fantastic.
Yep.
20%.
Yep.
Woo.
Love it.
Love it. Thank you.
So again, all these programs are out there. It is true. Tap into us and we will have a lot more. So again, if you go to our page right here, you can see there's we put in many more products. So one of the service that we just recently launched is called a cost segregation. This is crazy also. If a business owner, a business owner owns some sort of commercial building, whether it's a warehouse, restaurant, a warehouse, a retail, apartment building, so on and so forth, they can get so much money back through tax. So again, we will have training for that in about, I would say in about a week or 2 weeks from now. And again, there are so many things that is related to businesses that we can tap into, but the most important thing for us is the funding that we do right here. You'll be very easily run into people that needs a few $100,000, $1 million, $5 million. It's all over the place. So again, ladies and gentlemen, we need you. Plug into us, become our member, bring the team in, and let's do some crazy thing this year. So let's take the last question for the night. Last question for the night.
I just had a quick question. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Who's this?
My name is Mecca. Mr.
Ahmed?
Wu, nice to meet. Yeah, Mr. Gerald and Dr. Ford and Mr. Rivera invited me. I have a lot. My team is growing pretty fast, and I got a lot of sales. These people want 7. This one guy got like 1,000 apartment complex. He needs 7, and then there's a whole bunch of guys that are millionaires. They need a bunch of these EV charging stations. So they don't know what to do. One guy hunted me down to find me to find you, because they want this, they want them now. They told me just get them now, you know. So I need to figure out how to do this with you to get all these sales done.
Right.
I don't know. I will email you. My
Yep.
name is Mecca.
Okay.
Mecca, and I will email you.
Absolutely.
I am-
Go to-
It's kind of like what I said earlier, that we're waiting to get the website approved so that you could send them a one-page electronic website for you to submit to Sakura. I'm sorry, for you to submit to our company. I'm drawing a blank, sorry. So that they can send somebody out there to get the invoice. The invoice is the most important part of getting a loan, because nobody is gonna fund the project without an invoice to see where they're getting it, the equipment that they're getting it. So it's very important. So be patient, maybe 2-3 more days. Once that site is up and running and approved, I'm gonna send you guys all the links so that you can give that link to the potential client who wants to buy the EV stations, and we'll go right along with the funding.
Absolutely.
Okay, so quick question. What do I do with my Sequoia funding page that I have right now?
Well,
I
again,
already have the page. Go ahead.
again, if you have funding that you need through Sequoia, I bet that you already signed up with us and you have your own page. Now, hold on. Did I share the screen right here? Okay,
Yeah.
so look at the screen right here. This is what your page looks like. So again, send it to your client. So let's say if you're talking about multifamily, you're saying there's somebody that need funding for multifamily, come in here. Look at this. We already have a multifamily scenario right here. All you have to do is just to click on it, apply for it, and fill out some basic information. Let us know if they are purchasing a multifamily or refinancing a multifamily, whatever that might be. Send it to us. We will evaluate that project for you, and we even talk to the client for you. And again, you go from there. So get yourself familiarized with the website right here, or the scenario form right here. And if you have any questions or whatsoever, click on contact us today, and our support team is here to help you out. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, guys. Well, again, 9:04 is past the hour. Thank you so much for everybody to joining us tonight. And next week, we'll be talking about another topic. So pay attention to our Facebook posting, and we will post what we're going to talk about next week. And I think next week we're going to talk about cost segregation or credit repair. I need to look at the calendar, and we will post on the Facebook. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, and have a good night, and let's generate some loans and let's close them, baby.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Alan.
you.